Greetings family, greetings guys. Kiambo Tekieno, Jambo, Molweni, back like we never left. We sending blessings to your life, to your work, to your families and everybody important. We started by honoring how African women mastered high science straight out of nature and had the capacity to produce knowledge that translate into modeling techniques for common advancement, spirituality and personal development. A good-hearted queen, king, whether alive or crossed over, will always leave a legacy that will change the community for the better. They are prime examples of true leaders of freedom throughout generations by any means necessary. The most advanced society in Central Africa, a federal organized group of brilliant people met in infectious destruction by the 1400s. Kimpavita was able to seed the flames of freedom of the mind in the heart of her people as early as in the 1700s. Today, if you surf the web, or even those who are on the ground, shout out to you all, you will see a lot of Kongo descent working to emancipate in all continents the mind of our nations, in the Caribbean, in the United States, in Europe, Asia, even on the continent. Trust me, listen to them all, but only keep what is good. With the ego, it's hard to control emotions, so please act with love toward those people. Since women are such a great matriarchal figures, what about their offsprings? Shouldn't it be obvious that their children will inherit their gifts like the rising sun? Well, that's exactly our next step in our learning. The complete triangle of life and power, the Kanda, the parents and the children. But before we continue, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit it to shuffle the YouTube algorithm so other people who needs this message can also have the chance to get it. The next nations the parents and the children will build will last forever. The Moyo Kongo cosmology will give us a little bit of depth into this. Moyo means motherhood but also life. The Kongo cosmology is usually multi-dimensional layers spiral that contains a lot of knowledge, but today let's focus on what we have in front of us. Far in the west we see Buddha. That's where we start. I like starting there because that's how the day starts, where the sun is rising. Keep in mind that we're looking at the complete triangle here, the sacred triangle, which is made by the parents and their children. Buddha is the word used to symbolize childbirth, but also a family. When you get to noon, you see the motherhood. And for those who know the African culture, you understand how the midday or noon is. Right in the center we have Muntu, which is human, and Bantu is human in plural. So we see that the human is in the center, and this put the mother, the parents, the children, everybody in the same circle, the society, the community, but mostly here the human. Mwelonzo on the sunset. This is the extended motherhood, and right here it's also a way to prepare for next life. I see it as the sun is setting to get into a journey for rebirth. It's very amazing what we're trying to recreate. The black nations is in that process of rebirth. This is the work of the famous Dr. Fukiao Bunseki. He's giving us here, and what people like us today can use from this is that we can rebuild the Kanda before we give it birth again. we can heal the Kanda to a rising sun so that we can rise our nations again. And these changes, they start in your immediate Kanda, your immediate family. It's a very powerful tool. For me personally, the Kongo cosmology spiral has unlocked a lot of potential in my way of assessing information, breaking down information, and even doing this Sankofa process of returning to my roots. I use the spiral and apply it on a proverb. I apply it on a real situation, even present situation of life, and they allow me to break down and just access information in a very different way. It is important for us now to really start studying so we can be able to powerfully walk on this earth, get the information that we need. The spiral was also represented back in the days by a gastropod snail shell, so you can look at the snail or slug shell and see the representation of a spiral, just like the priest here in this picture. The goal is for you, beautiful young men and women, as we are gearing up to rebuild an amazing and strong nation, to always remember that you matter, you are capable. And now we've completed the sacred triangle. In this triangle, we have in the center the family, the human. We are in the series Kanda Wabukanda, which I translate here for education purpose as the family that make or keep the clan. Kanda Wabukanda sounds like Wakanda, right? Well, among the Bakongo, the Chokwe, the Lunda, the Luva, the Luba, the Luena, the Lushazi, the Kikuyu, all those big groups around the sub-Saharan Africa. The Kanda is the root word that translates to family, clan, community, gatherers group, hunter-gatherers, a village, a town, and so on, and has the same sacred meaning all over the continent. I believe people have that say when you go around the motherland. They always tell you family is a sacred thing. That's the power of oral tradition. Oral tradition is a very powerful tool as well, but we will come back to all of this as we grow as a group, as a movement, as a channel. We will start discussing in more details the cosmology and the psychological and mental tools that our ancestors were using. I do believe that those are keys for an amazing, powerful future for our people. Based on my observations, a lot of people are skeptical about the return to Africa movements. Some want to be separatists, others are saying that they have nothing to do with the Bantus. Some want to identify as a different class of black people, or even question the reason behind uniting black nations. Why? When I'm already a good American nationalist. Well, this mindset is proof that the Kanda is divided and it needs to heal. This is the reason we're trying to unite. What happens to a divided family? They fail and crumble. We need to be able to stand for ourselves. The best way to do that is by healing the family, by applying these tools that we're making available to you, tools used for centuries and studied throughout centuries, have demonstrated the capacity to manage and help people. The head of the Kanda is called Fumudin Kanda. The Kanda chief can be a female or a male figure. So we see already that sometimes we just want people to realize that African society were way much more advanced than other societies. Female or male people could have been kings or queens 3,000s, 4,000s years ago. when they talk about the emancipation of women, it's not really something that concerns us, although we have to emancipate our nations, and that means the women and the men of our nations. We see that they could also have leading couples working together. And do not confuse these people as kings and queens like the TV and the media is portrayed. Really, it's not needed. It's not the same. It doesn't contain the same amount of responsibility. Better titles were used to represent a balanced leadership that reigns over the land, the people, the animal kingdom, even the forests, without bloodshed. Did you know that an African chief, a true chief, is initiated? The word for initiation is Ganga or Nganda. We see that all these words are related words to Nkanda as well. We will do a linguistic dive later so we can expose a little bit more of some keywords that just can help us shift the thinking process when it comes to talking about the African matters. So a true African chief is initiated into power, and after that initiation, you cannot kill or shed blood, even against your enemies. Shedding blood from a king was something very impure. When you get to the level of the head chief of a clan or a society, there are people who have that mission to fight for the clan, but you as the leader, you had to keep a pure image. In your essence, you had to be pure. That's why you go through initiation. And also the kings and queens, so-called, of the past, they didn't just have the political power, but they also had the spiritual power. Now that we know that amazing leaders, female or male, can come from great parents built to support life and power, we'll have all these components. The cultural value and the science heritage of our people is unmatched. Every time we go toward it, we find out that we can heal, we get resources, change or shift our way to see the world, and also what we are anticipating for the future. By doing this Sankofa process of returning to your roots gives you more insight in renewing your mind for real change. I'm Yayan Case Miantima, and to the next.